Hey church family, you're watching Izzy in Christ. I wanted to make this video because I know that this is a topic that is being discussed among women, Christian or not Christian. Today, well, I more so want to address Christian women, but I mean, if you're not Christian, then you're free to listen to this as well, because you can still apply this. I wanted to talk about toxic femininity, because I know that that is a term that really isn't used. I know people more so focus on toxic masculinity, and I mean, really, I don't understand the concept too well. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I guess that will be a conversation for another day. So I wanted to talk about this issue. I actually, in all honesty, I was gonna be, all silly in the beginning and, poke fun and, make satire, but then I realized this might be a very sensitive topic for some people, so maybe I won't do that. Not this time around. So, I mean, I know that there are quite a few women out there that are over 30, they're still single. They think about the fact that it's like, okay, I'm over 30, like, when am I gonna get married? When am I gonna have kids? When am I gonna have, a house or whatever else? And why hasn't this happened for me? And there are so many reasons why it happens. Like, I've seen all the TikToks, I've seen all the YouTube shorts of like women that are complaining because supposedly there are no good men. And it's like, no. If I got married, you're very much capable of getting married. So I really just wanted to address more so the feminists, more so than the ones that are more, and I guess I'll make a video for that later. But the ones that are very career driven, the ones that have accomplished so much and wonder why it is no good man wants me. Why? I'm pretty, I'm successful, I have everything going for me. Why don't they want me? Okay, so let me put this into simple words, and you might not agree with me on this, but please just consider what I'm saying. Because maybe you've already tried all the other ways and maybe that's not working. Look, I'm just going to be honest. Men find women who are accomplished and are so confident in their looks and so confident in what their identity in their social life is, that they feel intimidated. Like, a man's not going to tell you that. But the truth is they are. Honestly, a good godly man appreciates humility. And even the ones that are not Christians, they like a girl who is humble, a woman who is humble. It's how you present yourself, really. Because, I mean, it's not bad to have a career. It's not bad to be pretty. It's not bad to, have accomplishments in life. It's not bad. It's just how you're presenting yourself. Like, is that like the first thing you're telling people? Or you're telling a guy? And I know that, there's all this talk about, well, I need to find a high value man who is on my level, but it's like, that just doesn't work. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have expectations, but there's a way of finding that out without laying that on the table and saying, well, look at me shine. Can you beat this? Because the first thing they're going to do is, yeah, probably not. And then, yeah, they're going to look for somebody who's on their same level, because they're looking for somebody who's on their same level as much as you are. But on the one hand, there is something to be said about being that support system to someone who isn't as successful as you. And that's okay. I mean, people succeed at different things at different times, but I digress. Look, I'm just trying to emphasize the point that it's intimidating. And a godly man won't care about your success or how ambitious you are. And I'll even say he won't really care that much about your beauty. I mean, sure, I'm not going to say that, men are visual creatures, like, I'm not going to say that he won't care about your beauty at all. But that's not going to be exciting for him throughout the entire duration of your relationship, even within the first few dates. I'm sure he'll see, oh, wow, she's very pretty. But oftentimes what that translates as is, she's out of my league. I've been trying to make this video, like, this is like my 4th attempt, and there's always sirens. So if I could ask you to please just ignore those. It is so annoying. Anyway, a good godly man really just wants humility. He wants sincerity. He wants kindness. He wants to see that you're generous, that you're giving, that you're polite, that you're a human being ultimately. Someone with values and true regard for people. He just wants to see that you're a genuine person. That's all he wants to see. And you really got to ask yourself, are you presenting that? Is that what he's seeing in you? I mean, there are so many women, I've noticed this, that, post pictures of themselves on social media, like they're half naked. And it's like, this is what I don't get. Their profile says Christian on it, yet they're showing all this cleavage. They're showing all this skin. They're wearing tight clothes that really shows off their figure. And it's like, a man of God is not going to be interested in that. In fact, you're going to attract the ones that want just a girl to, have fun with. I'm sure you can connect the dots there. That's what you're basically going to attract. You've got to, if you really want a godly man, then you yourself have to be godly. In my previous video, I mentioned how, Lord, see if there be any wicked way in me. And look, I understand, women want to look sexy. They want to look pretty. They want to look enticing in some way. But honestly, a man of God is going to be more interested in your character. And again, that humility that we were talking about, that kindness, that sincerity, generosity, like that kindness, that your ability to be polite, all of that is more important to him. Your values are more important to him than you just looking sexy and like showing off your body, basically. And I will say as well that when you dress like that, when you put yourself out there like that, they're intimidated by that too, because what they're thinking is, oh, she definitely wants a man who's savvy about about matters in the bedroom, and somebody who's, especially if your profile mentions all of your success and all of that, like they're thinking, okay, well, she probably wants somebody who's on the same level as her, so I just won't even try. So literally, you're letting good guys walk away because you're choosing to put that as your calling card. And look, I'm not even saying that it's bad to put your career and put all of that. That's okay, but just go low key. Don't make it so big and so flashy either, because at the end of the day, he just wants to know the person you are. Like, he wants to know your character, because at the end of the day, that's what he's going to see when he's married to you. He's not going to be thinking about your career when he's putting a ring on your finger on your wedding day. He's not going to be thinking about, all your career accomplishments and your, the fact that you have a car now and the fact that you have a house now. He's not thinking about that. Unless he's materialistic, which that's not what you want, because those types of marriages don't last. Anyway, excuse me. He wants to see that you're wife material. Like, again, bringing up the whole Proverbs 31 thing, okay? I'll just go on a little bit more of a rant before I mention Proverbs 31. He just wants somebody who is wife material, somebody who can prove that they're caring, who naturally nurtures, who loves, who can be a support system to him and his ambitions. Like, this is a crazy world with a lot of demands. We women understand that now, but it's even more for a man. And honestly, all they're looking for is peace. At the end of the day, they want someone to go home to where they can just feel peace, where they can just feel happy, they can feel content. And really, they're not going to be happy and content in a woman that is just consistently, wrapped up in herself and her own beauty and her success and whatever, and then, treats him like he's lower than her because, oh, well, I'm successful and like, I don't really need you. Like, that's the other thing. I find, I kind of spelled it myself. I find that a lot of women, they have this thing, they have this like attitude, like, oh, well, I don't need a man. Like, but honestly, if that's the kind of attitude you're putting out there, then why do you want to get married? Like, it doesn't make sense that, you know, you're complaining about being single, not having kids, not having this, not having that. But at the same time, this is your stance. This is your attitude. This is what you're presenting out there, that, oh, well, I'm strong, I'm independent, I'm empowered, I'm on this and I'm that. And look, I know that's all in the media, but that's a fairy tale. That's not reality. In reality, we all need people. And yeah, we need men because they're also people. Not because he's a man and, you know, oh, well, that's so misogynistic and whatever. Like, people have really taken that idea and have literally turned it into this like this ideology almost. Like, people like treat it like it's a religion almost. And this is why we have so many women now that are in their 30s that are not where they want to be. And even the ones that end up being successful and independent and whatever, they tend to find a sense of emptiness in their life, because really, honestly, the most fulfilling thing that you can do is have a child. But honestly, like, at least that's what they say. I've never had a child. I am pregnant, but, you know, I guess I'll only understand that once I guess I'm in that place. But that's what I'm hearing, that women tend to feel more accomplished once they have kids. And honestly, it's so much more fulfilling when you have your husband by your side helping you raise a child. Because, I mean, I know there are a lot of women that just go and get like in vitro fertilization, and then they, you know, become pregnant and then they raise a kid by themselves. But that's not God's design. Especially if you're a Christian, this is not how we should be doing things. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so a man, like a godly man, is not going to want a woman who, like, whose identity is in her success, or in how beautiful she is, or in how, you know, much stuff she has, how much money she has, or whatever. Like, he's not interested in any of that. He just wants a kind, loving human being that gives him peace. And some of you are probably going like, why do I have to give him peace? He can go get his own peace somewhere else. Okay, but you see, that is a very prideful attitude to have. And honestly, the same way that you need to hear, I love you and you're beautiful, from a man, he needs his peace. It's not wrong to desire that from someone. And at the end of the day, we also kind of desire peace from a man that loves us. We don't want a man who's misogynistic and nasty. But on the flip side of that, men don't want a girl boss. Like, men don't need a woman who thinks she's all that, because that doesn't come off as confident. It just comes off as cocky. He just wants a human being. He doesn't need a girl boss. He doesn't need you to be rich. He doesn't need you to be a supermodel. It's okay. It's not wrong to be confident, but you can be confident in being yourself. And if your identity is in any of the things I just mentioned concerning success and money and things, then that's an issue. And because our identity, I can't speak right now, should only be in Christ, who we are in Christ. And maybe that is something to reflect on. Who are you in Christ? Maybe, like I said in my previous video, you know, have a moment with God and say, Lord, search my heart. What is wrong with the way I think? Expose to me what it is, and ask in all sincerity. Don't ask just because you just want him to give you what you want. Don't treat God like he's a genie in a bottle. Just be you. Don't be a girl boss. Be confident in having humility and all the wonderful things that I mentioned earlier: kindness, generosity, being polite, having values. Be confident in that. And I guess that's a video for another day to basically explain what that means, because the problem I'm seeing now is that confidence and being a girl boss, being empowered, are like kind of being used interchangeably, and they're not really the same thing. And in fact, I'd argue that anybody who comes off that way, like they're a girl boss and they got it all together, that to me is armor of insecurity. Because anybody who feels secure in themselves doesn't feel the need to put on a show and prove to the world that, you know, I'm confident and I'm doing well for myself. I wanted to read a little bit from Proverbs 31. I think verse 11 was where I was saying, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. And that's honestly true. Like, honestly, I feel such a satisfaction doing right by my husband, treating him right, being kind to him, you know, giving him the peace that he wants. Because, yeah, his job frustrates him, and I want him to be happy. And so when he wants to vent, I'll listen. And I mean, he does the same for me. I'll be frustrated about my own job or whatever it is I'm dealing with, and he's there to listen. It's so important to listen to each other. But anyway, more on the subject of Proverbs 31. I honestly suggest for all you ladies to read Proverbs 31. Maybe I'll make like a series of videos concerning Proverbs 31, just sort of breaking down what it's really about. And again, I'm not going to present it in such a way to claim that, well, this is what you are, there's something wrong with you because you're not this. Because the truth is, I know that I'm not perfect in whatever Proverbs 31 says either, because I'm just like, I'm still learning. Like, I'm a newlywed, and there's so much for me to learn still. Anyway, this is a long video. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep things short. I hope that something I said in this video was helpful. I pray you're all blessed. Please leave a like if you like this video, subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next one.